Greetings and welcome to episode 5 of the Ruach Rising podcast. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately about how I approach my work, life, and parenting, and just everything else in between. I'm always looking for new ways to innovate how I approach my work. As a freelancer, I've always felt like taking on more is the answer to all my problems. But I'm slowly realizing that this is quite far from the truth. Lately, a lot has happened in my professional life that has made me question myself, my purpose, and my character. I'm resetting my outlook, and this year, I want to innovate how I approach my work. Part 1. More is less. As I was figuring things out, I came across a really interesting video that incorporates aspects of my life which I've been studying for a few years now. I am a Taoist cultivator in my spiritual life, and I practice Taoism. This is at the base of my spirituality. And lately, I have felt a very strange challenge to merge my spiritual life with my professional life. And I found a teaching by Shaolin Master Shi Heng Yi. He encourages us to empty our cups. And what does he mean by this? This teaching begins with the lesson of letting go, something we are not taught from a young age. In our education system, we are taught that more is an indication of success and achievement. However, letting go is where Master Shi Heng Yi believes our freedom lies. Instead of feeling like the next thing will bring us happiness, whether it's money, the ideal partner, a great job, we need to find a way to be content in the present moment. The hunger for more turns us into consumers and really stifles our creativity. When we declutter our lives and review what we really desire as freelancers, let's not forget that we initiated this path ourselves. We decided to become the masters of our own destiny and to self-govern and self-regulate as opposed to working for somebody else. And in the quest to grow our businesses, let us not forget the power of simplifying our projects and finding a sense of laser focus. Part 2. Be like water. Don't get set into one form. Adapt it and build your own and let it grow. Be like water. This is one of my favorite quotes from Bruce Lee, and it speaks to some of what I have been working on and struggling with this whole year. By this whole year, I mean last year. I think there's a certain rigidity that I've noticed within myself, especially when a new way of working is introduced, or I am introduced to maybe a field of writing that I'm not familiar with, or a client asks me to do something that I believe is outside of my abilities. There's also like a certain rigidity that I have when it comes to my resources. There's also me feeling like I am not enough because I don't have enough, right? And I think that when you don't believe that you are enough or have enough, very little can bring you joy, and instead you are always stuck in a place where you are stressed out. So I think cultivating that sense of flexibility, it comes from the initial act of emptying your cup, of really taking that moment to, review, kind of what's going on internally in order to, grow. For me, it's always growing as a writer. It's always growing as a mother. It's growing as a creative. It's growing as a person, and just kind of being of service to those around me and in my community, right? So I think when we are able to let go, we begin to access what is known as in Taoism the problem solving chi. So it's almost like understanding that what we need or what we want out of life, it's a life force, it's a form of chi, and therefore needs to be cultivated in a sense. I hope I'm making sense. Part 3, you're enough. When you're running a one-man show but taking on the responsibilities of 10 people, it can get tricky, and it is stressful to manage your business. As a freelancer, do not forget this. You are running a business. You are not just an employee to some invisible person. No, you're a business. So I think that, we take on a lot. We take on, the admin, the creative, the marketing, everything. We just do it, and, sometimes we'll outsource here and there, but outsourcing might not work for everyone. A lot of the freelancers I know just push, they, push one-man show. And speaking of freelancers that push and push and push, we have an interview with an award-winning writer coming up. I'm going to be doing, long interviews with different people and my friends and stuff. So I think, it is going to be fun, but I'm definitely not putting any pressure or structure on it. But I'm very interested to have this person, I keep saying this person. Look, it doesn't matter who it is, but I think he's one of the freelancers that I usually think of that really, is like a one-man show and a powerhouse of a writer and a freelancer. And I think that, we can sometimes underestimate ourselves, and what we can do and what we have done, because you're on your own. There's nobody, giving you a pat on the back. There's nobody giving you a gold star. Someone's giving me a pat on the back. There's nobody giving you a gold star to say, hey, you're doing a good job. So I think let's always be kind to ourselves. So one of the meditations, that I do, especially I think when I'm faced with like a challenge, or I have, perhaps, not succeeded in something that I really had my heart set on, I sit with myself, in silence, and, perhaps I will also upload this meditation, because I do record some of my meditation sessions. And I just, imagine relaying the situation to a friend, or you could actually relay the situation to a friend, and really imagining what that friend would say back to me, and I think you can do this in any kind of situation, because that when you tell your friend something, there is a certain amount of compassion you are expecting back from your friend when you share something painful. So I think when we're going through challenges in our business and we are experiencing failure, it's very important to cultivate that compassion towards ourselves, within ourselves, right? And I think this is where this challenge of mine came in, where I was like, the professional and the spiritual cannot be two separate entities, so I'm bringing in these meditations into my professional space. I want to offer these meditations in corporate spaces. I want to offer this to more freelancers, to cultivate, being kinder to ourselves, because it's through that kindness that we grow. And when things go wrong, we are able to hold ourselves accountable without spiraling into self-destruction. There's always room for self-improvement and a big smile. I think that it is true that every cloud indeed has a silver lining. And that is it from me. Thank you so much for listening. Stay wonderful, stay productive, stay beautiful, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.